Miss Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Miss Universe podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Miss Universe podcast.
Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. Yes, it's Friday. I know people are going to say, well, but you're doing things too political. No, I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking about logic. I'm talking about, when people instill fears in others. Like I've seen it, again, when I was in corporation. It was quite disturbing when people were saying, well, you think the grass is greener on the other side. It's not. And trying to mold people in fears, to me, was appalling. And let them think, well, this is the best job you're ever going to have in your life, so deal with it. That was a problem for me. At the end of the day, people who left or got let go were happier where they went afterwards and relieved to do not have to endure psychological warfare than being told over and over as a brainwash, well, this is the best job you are going to have. No, you don't have to agree with that. The other thing, too, is to look logically of where are we right now? What kind of chaos are we truly in? And what can we do to stop this? The other thing is entrepreneurship. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. Looking at the kids by the front yard with their lemonade stand or cookie stand, this is what entrepreneurship is. Being able to do things that we want to try. If you never attempt to do things, how can you know you're good at something? Seriously. And you don't need to have parents who are entrepreneurs to be an entrepreneur either. That's something that most people don't understand. Kids who have parents who are entrepreneurs are most likely to be entrepreneurs, which is true because this is what they learn at home. But you got young entrepreneurs who parents are not entrepreneurs. They can do successfully if you allow them to expand and try. Yes, trials and errors are always here to teach us something, but at least they're trying. They try to create something and bring it up. It's very interesting to see that. Now, blaming the one person, that needs to stop. Some people are old money and some are young money, meaning they made money, they strike because they have a business who took off, blah, blah, blah. That's great. Let them have it, but do your own thing as well. Be inspired by them, not full of hate or resentment because they're making money and you don't. But look at where you are. Look at what needs to be like the weeds that needs to be cleaned up and see what you can do in your life to get going. It's, we have to understand but we have to understand that our life, our trajectories are all different from one individual to another. And that's something people are forgetting. I never looked at who had more money. I don't give a crapola of who has what, actually. Good for them if they have the money. Well, can do better if you don't. You have your own journey. Spending your time to feel in competition with others is not that much healthy either. I took example of Apple because to me, Steve Jobs was somebody very interesting. He had perseverance, he was determined, and he did the good things that we are still benefiting around the world, regardless if you're an Apple person or not. His influence across phones and computers and cameras and stuff like that has helped we leaped into a different level of it, and all companies around that try to compete with them have improved where they were at the beginning to where they are today. Now, again, you got a choice. You can be the one who's trailing everything, or you can be the one on the forefront of it, of the changes. But We all have possibilities and capabilities to do things, but if we are always looking at others, oh, they're making more money, or they this or they that, well, be inspired and do your own thing. Think about what you want to do and create. Sometimes it might take some time to figure it out too. I like what I just said. Sometimes it might take some time to create our own paradise. But you know what? If we never tried, what are we doing at the end of the day? We are just shooting ourselves in the foot. I don't have time to shoot myself in the foot. What the time I have is spent on doing something more interesting. It's to open a different view and way of doing things. It's reassessing where I'm at and looking at where I want to be. But being inspired by others is to take your own dreams and make them happen. And I don't care who's around you and telling you, no, you should not, blah, blah, blah. Those people have no hold on you. It's only you. But your journey is unique, and that's something people need to understand. So for the people who are looking at the 1% and just say, well, those guys are filthiers, well, good for them. Okay, Jeff Bezos was and even with his first wife Patty, I think it was Patty or something like that, her first name, was there and had his back, and they built $1 billion company, and again against the ad online. Nobody thought about it, or somebody did. Well, guess what? Now you can buy stuff online from Walmart, Target, and others. Why? Because they brought it up by Amazon. Again, those guys were able to do things that were unique and thought the need to do it, persevere, and succeed. Well, everybody can do the same thing, but sometimes your road will be a slightly different because your life lessons will be different than others. But don't compare yourself to anyone else. Then you have to remind yourself you're unique. This is who you are. You're unique. There is only one of you here. There is not 10,000 of you. One, unless you have an identical twin, but even the identical twin has his own mind too. So think about what you want. Stop to spit in the soup and blame those, oh, they're filthy. Who cares? Be inspired. Start to think like they do, okay? And see it coming and continue to push yourself forward. This is what it's all about. The game of life is based on you, not on anyone else. That's why I am glad we're out of those 4 years, because the reason is we need to go back to our basics. We need to think for our own self. We do not need somebody to feed spoon us at all. That needs to stop. And you are part of the change. You are one of them that are bringing new things, new life into great things. You got people who have fantastic skill sets that the rest of the world should know. Use TikTok, and record videos of your art, of what you're capable to do. That is for the highest good of everybody, not somebody who's going to do, what do you call it? A lootering of any kind. But I'm talking of the skill set. Maybe you're good at singing. I have people on TikTok who have doing their own singing, blah, blah, blah. So their own concert as well. So why not? If you're playing guitar, if you are good at baking, okay? I love Martha Stewart. For me, Martha is one of the best one in the world. But there is millions of Marthas out there that can share, and you see it actually on TikTok. I love cakes, okay? The cake decoration, it's like, holy crap, I love those. I should do it. I have not studied that, but I should do it for the fun of it. I would just sit down and start to eat the entire cake when they're done doing it. But you see young entrepreneurs or middle-aged entrepreneurs, women of 40, 50, who basically are decorating their cakes, they're doing their business, they're talking live. This is great. You got people doing repairs, you got people, investigating, you have people doing a lot of things. Do your own thing, make it unique, okay? Make it unique. You have your own signature. So just do it, like the freaking commercial from Nike said, just do it. It's like, don't spit in a soup blaming everybody else. Oh, well, this person is blah, blah, blah. Who gives a crap if that person had 10 million people followers? That's not you. Work on yourself. Work on what you're supposed to be doing. But we are all entrepreneurs, okay? You can start when you're a kid or when you're 50 or 60 years old. Like I take the example of KFC, the colonel who started in his 60s. Okay, he passed away, but guess what? KFC still exists in the US and around the world too. Hello, okay? It's never too late. Step outside of your comfort zone. Stop thinking that, well, what is my husband going to think about? What is my wife going to think about? What is my children? Or what is my uncle? And here I'm going to be the laughing stock. Well, the people who are laughing at you are the people who don't even, they have resentment, the people that don't know what to do with you because you're stepping outside of who they know. It's like, and I've seen it because unfortunately firsthand, when I was working for a company, the person they hired to come in and turn things around, well, he recognized at the end he made several mistakes. He should have never gone the way he did, but he had authorization to push and get things done very quickly, okay? So he was abrasive. He was pushing, and he pissed off a lot of people at the end of the day. And I was one of them that he was asking questions over and over and over. And I thought I was done with him every time I turned around. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? You're now stressing the life out of me with your question. And one day I decided to go in his office and sit down. And I said, I'm going to give him a chance, actually. I don't know why I said that. I have no idea because I just wanted him out of my way like there were no tomorrow. It was like, ugh, I don't want to deal with you. I did. And I started to listen to him and I started to hear him out, and he heard me because I was bored on what I was doing. I'm like, okay, I need something else more exciting on this one. It's always how I work. But I learned who he was, and I saw the guy wasn't as the bully or the pushover than he wanted to be. But I had a conversation with him later on, and he said to me, and he shared with me, he said, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have come as forceful than I did, but I had the support of the management above me to do it, and they wanted the transformation to happen. So some people were very angry at him and refused to see who he truly was, which he was a great guy. He was somebody who had a great mind, great person, but he came with the way he did, and it did not please everybody. And the government we're in, stepping in, is the same way. I like Trump very much because he's a great businessman. He will say what he got to say. This is what I like. I like with people who, you have to be honest. Stop the hypocritical game and the lies. But just be honest. Say what you got to say. Yes, he went overboard with his TikTok, which I was laughing actually when he picked up TikTok and whatever. And I was laughing. I'm like, really? It's unconventional. And people wants to keep it hypocritical like it is, okay? We're going to lie to your face, and we're going to do things behind your back you're not aware of. He has brought up this time around people who are, as I said, extremely knowledgeable. Patesh, Elon Musk, Sam Boney, Brody or Boney? I think it's Boney. People that have the knowledge. They are brilliant people, smart people. He did not brought people for corruption or make it worse, but moving to transparency. And you know what? It's changing the establishment. And not only this, but there is an impact around the world because what he's doing, everybody else is watching, which means all of the other governments around the world are going to be impacted and start to do the same thing. Okay? If in 5 minutes he's telling you, if you don't release the hostage, hell's going to break loose. And he doesn't have to do anything else. And then a few days before the inauguration, they are released by magic. You think about yourself and it's like, yes, he's not messing around. He's saying the way it is. Yes, it's unconventional. Yes, it's changing the norms. Yes, we're not taking your hand and feeling sad for you. We're telling you how it's going to run. We don't have time. This is what I like, the business side of things, because when you really are pure business, you remove the emotions and you go straight to the point. People are not used to it. But you're looking at the people he brought on board. Those people are serving everybody else's. They want clarity, they want transparency, and they want fairness. And that is a problem for a lot of people who like to swim into the murky waters creating chaos and conflict, then now you're faced with transparency that will expose you. The other thing that I agree with is Congress, even Senate, should have a term limit. You cannot be there for the rest of your life. There is people who literally are senile, should not be there. They don't even know what they're talking about. But they are there elected until they die. And it's like, no, it should be 2 terms. Maybe maximum of 8 years or 6 years, whatever the deal is. You move along after that. You're done. That's what it should be. To make it fair and have fresh people coming in and not blocking them. Because there is people who are going to spend the rest of their retirement and their senility, and they're going to go into a retiring home and still getting a full salary thinking they are there when they are not. It's like, come on. Changes are happening for a reason. Resetting balance happening for a reason. And I know people are going to say, oh, but you said this. You know what? Remove your emotions and see it as the bigger picture. When you remove your emotions from situations, even if it stings once in a while, you can see things in a better way and don't waste your time and your energy on things that you should not be wasting, like crying, like being upset. It's like passing an interview. And I like when I do pass an interview, or I'm doing the interview for someone, I always know by the end if I'm landing the contract or not, what are they looking for and what I was missing or what was the weakest point, or if the person I interview can do the job or not. Not based again on their color skin, because I don't care, or your sexual orientation. I could care less about it. It's your monkey, your circus. But on the competency. When you remove the emotion and look at the analytical side of it, you have a bigger picture. And a lot of people are missing the point. When you pass an interview and you think it went well when in fact it did not, you have to be honest with yourself. Said, no, I didn't pass the interview. Somebody's going to get it because I am not strong in those skill sets. I have the knowledge, but not deep enough for what they're looking for. So when you receive your email saying, well, they move forward with another candidate who's stronger, you know it. You knew it. It's like, yeah, it stinks for a minute. It's like, yeah, well, I knew it. So I'm moving on to something else. I'm not going to dwell on that. But it's the same thing with everything else. Transparency is the key. And in today's date, it's not a luxury. And that's what is being reestablished here. And this is going to shake a lot of people who, again, swim on murky waters because they're going to be exposed. And that's what I've been waiting for years, to see the Senate and Congress to be more transparent and stop their lobbying and their staff. Same with people who are not in Congress, but they are lobbyists, and continue things that doesn't work in favor of the people. Because that's what they've been elected for. But lobbyists can grease the paw of anyone giving a good incentive of any form or shape that most people don't know. So you have to think, learn to be more analytical and see the picture not from an emotional standpoint, but an observer. When you become the observer, that's why the analytical, it's like being an observer. You don't push your emotion in there. You're neutral. And you can see actually the entire picture with a different angle. So that's something people don't know how to do. And I would encourage people, become the observer. Go back into experiences when you were a kid or even a young adult. Situation that didn't work in your favor, okay? Something that happened that didn't work in your favor. Or somebody did something to you at work, backstab you in the back and throw you under the bus. Put yourself into the observer and replay that movie and see what you missed the first time. You'll be surprised that the signs were all there, but you ignore them because you were too emotional and you decided that even though they were bigger than a train freight, you decided to do not look at them. When you start to do this, that you become more aware. That's why the awareness come around. Look at the awareness. Look at the facts. Not what people are saying, but the facts. Because people can lie to your face and you can see they lie to you. They try to bring you fears. Because I think we're living in an not an era, but we've been living under a rock for 4 years because people brought fears. And people are, that's why I don't watch the news, because I don't trust the news, because they bring fears. That's how you're being controlled, by the fears. When you remove the fears and said, everything is okay, I am safe, I see the truth safely, you will have a different perspective on things. And that will open your eyes. Now, entrepreneurship is for everybody. If you want to make billions of dollars, it's up to you to make the billions of dollars. But stop spitting in the soup and start to focus on what you really want to accomplish in your life. And trust me, when you start to do this, things will change for the better in your life. So this was our talk for today. I'm watching the clock. I'm like, well, they're way past 20 minutes. I'm like, that's awesome. I had something to say today, Looking at the inauguration, actually, for the president is on Monday, and I'm recording it for February. But I wanted to share this because, we have to learn to really become the observer, because you see better what happened. And what better example to take something that happened in your life that was unpleasant and be in a neutral state and watch it. You'll be surprised. So all my love, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.
Where do we go from here?
Amy's Universe Podcast.
Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Amy's Universe Podcast. Miss Universe podcast.